Hello there. I think finger strength is rather important for climbing. And in this video, I would like to share 5 exercises that are really good for building finger strength. And I would like to share it in a more applicable, understandable way, aka my workout. So I'll explain my workout and how I utilize these 5 exercises to help promote my finger strength prowess. Without any further ado, let's hop into it. Now, the first exercise, probably one of my favorite finger exercises known to mankind, is the weighted hang. The weighted hang is basically just when you strap weight to yourself and then you hang off of the hang board. Now, for me, I'm doing off of 15 millimeters. For most people, 20 millimeters will be fine, but the reason why I elect to do 15 millimeters is because if I choose to do it on 20 millimeters, the amount of weight that I have to load up to my body is too damn much, and I don't want to have that much weight hanging off of my hips because it kind of digs the harness into my hips. It don't feel good, and the sheer amount of weight would literally tear my skin apart at the seams when I hang off 20 millimeters, which has happened before, and I don't want a repeat of that. Therefore, I did the smart thing. I said, let me just go down 5 millimeters to 15 millimeters. And that way I could load up way less weight, but still have the same amount of intensity within my fingers. So that's why I'm working off of 15 millimeters now instead of 20 millimeters when I do my weighted hangs. And when I'm warming up for my weighted hangs, I have a very long warm up just because I'm trying to build up to 3 sets of very, very high intensity weight hanging for 10 seconds. Now, the reason why I elected to do 10 seconds instead of anywhere between 5 to 10 is because 10 seconds for me is that spot where I'm climbing on the wall and I hold a hold and I'm just cranking on it like, oh my god, basically I chose 10 seconds because my project basically dictates that my right hand has to be on one hold for approximately 10 seconds of really hard work. So that's why I chose 10 seconds. But the main reason why I chose 10 seconds is because 10 sounds better than 9, 8, 7, 6. It almost sounds as good as 5, but I've done 5 before in the past and I just want to switch things up, and the switch up is 10 seconds. Therefore, I think you should never be afraid to try different things. As long as the effort's there, you should be fine. So I believe I ended up doing about 5 warm-up sets, just slowly building on the weight. I believe I started off at 45 pounds and then I went to 60 pounds, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 pounds. And that's like, when I got to 110 pounds, I was like, you know, this is a good weight. Now, I never know what type of weight I will be using that day. I just work it based off of how I feel. And today, I felt fantastic. Approximately 2 to 3 weeks ago, I did this exact same workout. Well, the exact same weighted hangs. And I could only manage 75 pounds. This time around, I PR'd at 120 pounds for 10 seconds. But you may be thinking, there's no way you made that much progress in such a short amount of time. And the answer is you are correct. Because previously, due to muscle memory, my max hang ever is 165 pounds off of 20 millimeters for 5 seconds. And because I'm been a little bit detrained and I haven't hang boarded approximately 2 to 3 weeks ago, I just started it back up. And within 2 to 3 weeks, my muscle memory has kicked back in, letting me know, hey, remember when we used to do weighted hangs on our body all the time? Well, here's that strength coming back. And not to mention, 2 to 3 weeks ago, my ring finger was way more injured than it is now. So that does play a major role in it as well. Anyways, it's not like I made 120 minus 75 pounds worth of progress in 2 to 3 weeks. No. Most of it is muscle memory. I probably made maybe 10 pounds of progress though, just because this is the first time I'm messing around 15 millimeters. So it's a bit of a learning feeling for my fingers because I'm not too used to it yet. But as I get more used to it, I'll become better at it. So after I did my max set of that, I switched to my 3-finger drag. Now I will say that the only grip positions I train when I do my hangboard training nowadays is open hand, 4-finger, and 3-finger drag. Now the reason why I only train these 2 grips is very, very simple. I like it. And you should like the way you train, and if you don't, you're just gonna not want to do it and you're gonna resent it, sure, I could train half crimp as well, but I did that for like 8 to 12 months a while back, and it was awful. I didn't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much as open hand. Open hand just feels better for me. So therefore, I think you should work your strength, make your strength more of a strength, and make sure your weaknesses don't hold you back, if that makes sense. And I didn't go that heavy. I think I just did 3 sets of 55 pounds because this was the first time I was doing 3-finger drags off of 15 millimeters. I normally do it off of 20, but today I was like, I feel pretty good, so let me try 15 millimeters. So I only did 3 sets of 55 pounds for 10 seconds, which I thought was pretty good because I already did my really heavy set for the day. Now, afterwards, we go to exercise number 2, which is MixGrip Hangs. Now, the reason why I'm doing MixGrip Hangs and why I think they're so good is because I think they're a better form of one-arm training if you're not really good at one-arm training. I mean, if you're not really strong at the one-armer yet, like me. So what I basically do is I'll just hold one edge with 4 fingers, the other one with a mono. And that way I find I can still apply pressure with both hands as hard as I can. But because one hand is obviously a mono, it's not assisting or taking over the movement like how my 4-finger hand is. Because when it comes to other forms of assistance, when it comes to one-arm training, like a band or pulley or whatever you want to use, really, I find sometimes the movement gets taken over by the offhand. But in this case, because both hands are working really hard, the mono and the 4 fingers, it's still kind of like a symmetrical effort going through both arms, but only one arm is taking the most of the load. Therefore, I really like this MixGrip Hang type of ordeal, and I'm really kind of beating myself up for not doing this earlier because today is literally the first day I implemented this. I'm a little bit befuddled at that fact. But if you've never tried it, you should definitely try it. Now, the reason why I do a mix grip and not just mix hangs is because the hang boards I have are very asymmetrical. Meaning, if I was to do like just a normal mix hangs using different size edges and rungs, then one side will always be uneven. My bad. Both sides will never be even to each other. And that really messes up with my sense of symmetry. And I really hate that. Plus, I think just the mono and 4-finger does me just fine. Once I get stronger, I'll probably switch it from middle finger to ring finger to pinky finger, and then maybe even thumb. But that's for future me. So if you haven't tried MixGrip Hangs, you should definitely try it. And I just did 3 sets, 10 seconds, both arms. So total 6 sets for 60 seconds. Now after that, we enter number 3, which is no hangs. Now no hangs is probably the best exercise I've ever done for isolating pure fingers. So if you have like a shoulder injury or back issues or bicep issues or any issue that's not a finger issue and forearm issue, you do no hangs. It isolates the fingers like crazy, and all you basically do is you just stand above the weight, attach whatever attachment you want, and you just pull up, establish the position at the top, make it clear that, hey, I pull it up, I have control, put it down, bang, and you just bust out reps of those. For me, because I'm working specifically strength, I just did 3 sets of 5 reps, and you'll see that my right arm is vastly stronger than my left arm. So instead of changing the weights because I'm really lazy, for my left arm I just pulled as hard as I could, rested, pulled as hard as I could. So I just pretended like I was having success even though I wasn't having success. Now my setup is a little bit unoptimal because the string is a bit long. So you look at me, you see me go on my tippy toes. Normally you should have it to the point where all you gotta do is straighten your legs and the weight will come off the ground. But I was too lazy to put like blocks underneath my feet. So I was just like, you know, whatever, I'll just yank it off the ground. Also, if you want to just like quickly recruit your fingers for like warming up, you just load up the mix hang with not a lot of weight and you just pop, 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 and you just pull it off the ground really well and really hard, and that's really good for warming up your fingers. Excellent way to build some really good recruitment in the fingers, I would say. The 4th exercise I did, and the 4th exercise which I think is really good for building finger strength, especially just how fast can you recruit your muscles and how hard can you pull and how hard are you willing to try to pull, will have to be max isometrics. Now a max isometrics, just when you hold on to something and you just pull as hard as you can with the hopes that your body will levitate off the ground. Now, fortunately for me, I'm at a point in my climbing prowess where I am now strong enough to levitate off the ground. I couldn't levitate off the ground 2 to 3, 4 weeks ago, but now I can. But this is just like old strength coming back. It's not new strength by any means, just letting you know. And now that I could levitate off the ground from just the pulling position, I'll try to hold it for as long as I can before my arm starts to feel too weak, and then I'll let go. Take a small breather, I'll yank again, let go, take a small breather and yank again. Now I'm only doing 3 reps per arm before I switch, because when I'm pulling, I am legitimately pulling as hard as I can for a briefest moment of say 2 to 3 seconds, not that long. And I think this is really good if one, you just want to know what it feels like to try really hard on a small edge. Say you're not comfortable with 10mm edges, just go up to a 10mm edge. Just do a max isometric, just pull as hard as you can. Doing that, your body will get more comfortable with the edge size. And even though you're not moving, and yeah, I guess that's the hard thing about this exercise, because if you're not moving at all and nothing's moving, then you find it really hard to make it feel like you're actually working. But the work happens inside your head. The ability to just pull hard even though you're not moving, that's the hard part about these max isometrics. But you know, it's good. Now the 5th exercise is board climbing. Now I don't really do board climbing necessarily to get stronger fingers. I do it more to be a strong climber. So what I mean is, if I want to get just strong fingers, I would do 1, 2, 3, or 4. I would never really do number 5, but I would do number 5 if I want to know if I want to prepare to like start climbing really strong and really powerfully. Because just because you have really strong fingers on the hangboard doesn't mean it will translate 100% to the climbing wherever it is you're climbing. But if you climb really hard on the board, that will pretty much translate to all types of climbing, is what I would like to say. And I'm not like talking about like the strength factor, I'm talking about like trying hard factor. Because you could try hard on the hangboard for 10 seconds, sure, whatever, because all you're doing is just holding a position and there's not too much to think about. But on the board, oh, can you try hard for like say a 20-second climb the entire time? So it's a very physical form of climbing that I really do. It's not like I super enjoy it, but now I'm starting to really like it. And I always have it in rotation when I go gym climbing. So I'll probably do my hangboard workout, go do some indoor climbing, or my bad, gym climbing, and then come do some board climbing. And it doesn't have to be intense or anything, because for me it's not necessarily a workout, it's just a different style of climbing that's just more physical than the other types of climbing that I normally do, or other types of climbing that exist, like how gym climbing is more dynamic and comp style, and how outdoor climbing is more static, and board climbing is just the most physical out of all of it. So that was basically 5 finger exercises, things that you could do to get stronger fingers. If you want to see me lose a bunch of weight, here's a video right here. And if you want to see me talk about a bunch of climbing tips, here's a video right here. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time, partner.